And welcome back to Magic the Gathering. Again, fell behind this week. Like David, I'm like playing catch up every 2 days at the moment with the Forgotten Realms spoilers, but we're here. So we got all day. So let's just go into this. So Jaded Sellsword. 1 red, 3 of any color for a 4/3 Dragon Warrior common. Enters the battlefield. If mana from a treasure was spent to cast it, gains first strike and haste until the end of turn. It's a 4/3 drop dragon for 4. And if you were able to use treasure, which there's a lot in this set, admittedly, you can give it 4 strike and haste, which, if that were its straight abilities, that'd be an uncommon for sure. Ultimately, it's a pretty decent card. I can't say it's bad. I do love the artwork on it. The artwork's great. Hoarding Ogre. 1 red, 3 of any color for a 3/3 Ogre common. Attacks, roll d20. 1 through 9, create a treasure token. 10 through 19, 2 treasure tokens. 20, 3 treasure tokens. There you go. If you want to get Jaded Sellsword working, there you go. Don't really have anything else to say on that. As it stands, this is actually a pretty good card because whenever it attacks, it's giving you mana regardless. That's the thing. It's giving you mana that's not going to burn away. So actually, this is a pretty good card. Lurking Roper. I'm assuming that's Roper. 1 green, 2 of any color for a 4/5 horror. Doesn't untap during your untap step. Whenever you gain life, untap it. Well, you got a 4/5 for 3 that doesn't come out tapped. So that's actually pretty good. If you can just get a life gain thing going on, this isn't bad. And there's so much life gain already in the set with certain cards. I can see it being possible. Hired Hexblade is 1 black, 1 of any color for a 2/2 Elf Warlock common. Enters the battlefield. If mana from a treasure was spent to cast it, draw a card and lose a life. There's better things to waste a treasure on, quite frankly. There's nothing wrong with, with the draw card, drawing the card part. I don't like the lose a life draw card thing. Unless you've got a deck that, you are going to benefit from it, I don't particularly like it myself. Bag of Holding, 1 of any color, artifact, uncommon. Whenever you discard a card, exile a card from your graveyard. Whenever you discard a card. Pay 2, tap, draw a card, and discard a card. 4 of any color, tap, sacrifice this card, return all cards exiled with Bag of Holding to their owner's hand. Okay, I see how this is playing out. So basically, it's letting you draw a card, discard a card that you may need or not need, and then hopefully if it survives long enough, you can just pop it and get all these cards back in your hand. Especially, this is best when you basically have no hand left, or like 1 card left. You just suddenly restock your hand with cards you've already used, or gotten rid of, but you were planning to use later on. So actually, not bad. It does take some time to prep though, so keep that in mind. And you're still going to be down on mana no matter what, unless you got some treasures out. Who knows? Goblin Javanier, 1 red, 1/1 Goblin Haste. Whenever it becomes blocked, deals 1 damage to target creature blocking it. So in essence, it's hitting for 2. It hits for 2, but it's a 1/1. Actually, for a little 1/1 jump, it's a 1/1 haste with a bonus ability. That's perfectly serviceable. Power of Persuasion. 1 blue, 2 of any color for sorcery. Uncommon, choose a target creature an opponent controls, then roll d20. You can 1 through 9, return it to your hand. Okay. 10 through 19, its owner puts it on top of their or bottom of their library. Okay. 20, gain control of it until the end of your next turn. Okay. Either way, it's going to basically pop your pop creatures. It's going to get something off the field temporarily, so it's a usable card. If by chance you luck out with a 20, great. If not, oh well. There's worse things out there. Rime Shield Frost Giant, 2 blue, 3 of any color for a 4/5 Giant Warrior with Ward 3, perfectly usable. It's perfectly usable. It's a 4/5 for 5, and it's hard to get rid of. You need to pay 3 extra mana just to kill this thing. So yeah, that's usable. It's perfectly fine for a common. Wizard Spellbook is 2 blue, 5 of any color for an artifact rare. Tap, exile target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard, roll d20, activate only as a sorcery. On a roll of 1 or 9, copy that card, you may cast that copy. On a roll of 10 or 19, copy that card, you may cast that copy by paying 1 rather than playing its mana cost. Or 20, copy each card exiled with Wizard's Spellbook. You may cast any number of the copies without paying their mana cost. Let me just be sure I read that last part again, because I read it before. I'm like, what? Copy each card exiled with Wizard's spellbook. You may cast any number of the copies. Okay, I just want to, yeah, wait, any number of the copies. See, I feel like it's saying, because I think what it's trying to say is, of the amount of copies you have, you can cast any number of them. But the way it comes off worded, at least to me, is like, hey, you got this, I don't know, what's Power of Persuasion right here? Cast that as many times as you freaking want. That's the way it's kind of reading to me, so I'm going to need a rule check on that. Either way, it's decent. No, long story short, it's decent. It's fine. Demi-Lich, 4 blue for a mythic rare skeleton wizard. 4/3. This spell costs 1 blue less to cast for each instant or sorcery spell you've cast this turn. Whenever Demi-Lich attacks, exile up to 1 target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard, copy it, and you may cast that copy. Whenever you may cast Demi-Lich from your graveyard by exiling 4 instants and sorcery cards from your graveyard in addition to paying its mana other costs. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know. Because let's just say you have the 4 mana right there for the blue, but you want to try to cast it for something cheaper. But, I mean, like, it's impossible. Late game, this is easier to cast for cheaper because you obviously have, you know, your instants and sorceries. You could probably also get it out for free, which is 4, obviously. And then obviously attacks, that part I have no issue with. It's really the final ability that I find kind of not confusing. I understand it, but is this really mythic worthy? Yeah, you can cast it from your graveyard by exiling 4 instants of sorceries, but then it's like, great, you now have lost a bunch of fuel for the Demi-Lich. And being a Lich, you'd think maybe it's indestructible of some kind. Nope, it's I don't know, I'll be honest, I don't really love this very much. It's a shame, because I'm a blue player. Blue's my favorite, followed by green, and I don't really like it that much. Hulking Bugbear, though, is a 3/3 haste for 2 blue red and 1 of a color. It's basically a copy of a Gremlins from Kaladesh, but it's usable, especially in a Goblin deck. Red Dragon, 2 red, 4 of any color, flying, fire breath, enters the battlefield, deal 4 damage to each opponent for a 4/4. Ozzy, 4 damage to an opponent's face on a 4/4 flying body for 6. That's actually really good. Like, that's a great rate, actually. So what, uncommon? Yeah, I like that. Shocking Grasp, 1 blue, 1 of any color. Instant common, target's creature gets -2, -0 until the end of turn, and draw a card. It's a decent little combat trick. You have nothing much else to say beyond that. Kalane, Reclusive Painter, 1 black, 1 red, for a human elf bard. When the Reclusive Painter enters the battlefield, create a treasure token. So 1/2. Other creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional +1 counter on them for each mana from a treasure spent to cast them. Well, given that treasure is around a lot, I can see possibilities with it. You can definitely do it at least once, that's for certain. Otherwise, though, it's pretty squishy, though, so it's going to die pretty quick. Unless you have one of these on the field, uses the effect to bring out another one, pump that, and then go from there. But yeah, it's going to die pretty quick. Guardian of Faith, 2 white, 1 of any color, for a Spirit Knight, rare, 3/2. Flash, Vigilance, when it enters the battlefield, any number of other target creatures you control phase out. Treat them and anything attached to them as though they didn't exist until their controller's next turn. So basically it's a quick save shit from, being destroyed effect, which isn't bad. And it's fine. I mean, look, it's a 3/2 with Vigilance with Flash, so that's something. Minimus Containment. 1 white, 2 of any color, for an enchantment or a common. Enchant non-land permanent. Enchant non-land permanent is a treasure artifact and sacrifice it. Tap it, sacrifice it. It also loses all its abilities. So in essence, you are turning something like this loathsome troll here, for example, and turning into a treasure with no abilities. Joy. The only catch is they're going to now get some extra mana, but if you're getting rid of their biggest thing, that's worth it. Loathsome Troll is 2 green, 3 of any color. For a 6/2 troll, uncommon, you may pay 3 and 1 green to roll a d20. Activate only if Loathsome Troll is in your graveyard. You may pay, if you get, on a 1 through 9, it goes to the top of your library. 10 through 19 goes into your hand, and 20 goes in the battlefield taps. It basically has a form of regeneration. 6/2 for 5 is okay, but the fact that it can just keep coming back, that's where your real gravy is. Herald of Hadar, 1 black, 4 of any color. For a human warlock, 4/4 common, Circle of Death. Pay 5 and 1 black to roll d20. 1 through 9, each opponent loses 2 life. 10 through 19, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. On a 20, each opponent loses 2 life, you gain 2 life and create 2 treasures. Yes, it's expensive at 5 for 4, but it's a 5 for 4/4, so that's usable. And honestly, continue just rolling that die. They're losing life regardless. So honestly, this is kind of a clock card a little bit, especially if it's later in the game and they're already down on some life. That's a bit of a clock card. Arcane Investigator is 1 blue, 1 of any color for a 2/1 elf wizard. Search the room. Pay 5 any color and 1 blue. Roll d20. On a 1 and 9, draw a card. On a 10 and 20, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest on the bottom in any order. I think it's a good little search card. The only catch is the roll searching the room effect. The actual mana effect is on the high side. So yeah, and again, squishy, not going to live long. Dancing Sword is 1 white, 1 of any color for artifact equipment, rare. Equipped creature gets +2/+1. When equipped creature dies, you may have Dancing Sword become a 2/1 construct artifact creature token with flying and ward 1. If you do, it isn't an equipment anymore. 8 equips for 1. So really, yeah, you get a creature out of this if you really want to, which is cool. And it becomes a 2/1 flying with ward 1. I actually dig all that. I like this card. This is cool. Scale Herbalist is 1 green, 1 of any color for a lizard druid. 1/3. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. It basically can help do the whole landfall thing. So now we have, they said there was a new enchantment subtype. We have classes now. There's a lot of them. Barbarian class. 1 red, gain the next level as a sorcery to add this ability. Basically, yeah, it's combination. It's basically level up, but on a special type of card. So if you would roll 1 or more dice, instead roll that many dice +1 and ignore the lowest. You may level up to level 2. Whenever you roll 1 or more dice, target creature you control gets +2/+0 and menace until the end of turn. And creatures you control have haste. Now, if I am looking at this correctly, I think it just has all of these abilities. You just have to get to all of them. So it will always have the first ability. You got to get to the second. It will always have the second after that. You got to get to the third. Being an enchantment. So I assume that's the way it works. As it stands, this is obviously designed really well for the dice rolling decks. I mean, I like it for the dice rolling deck. It works out fine. And even if it's not even if you don't have a lot of dice rolling going on, you've still got, you still can get to the creatures have haste, but there are better cards for that ultimately. Zorn. Zorn. 1 red, 2 of any color for an elemental, 3/2, rare. If you would create 1 or more treasure tokens, instead create those tokens plus an additional treasure token. He's there to help with treasure. And for treasure, that's awesome. Old Gnawbone. 2 green, 5 of any color for a mythic rare legendary dragon, 7/7, flying the green dragon. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, create that many treasure tokens. Lots of treasure going on here. Being a flying 7/7, that means there's a good chance it's going to be able to hit, provided they don't have blockers. If you can figure out a way to give it trample, which I'm sure there are ways, then there you go. Prosper Tomebound. 1 black, 1 red, 2 of any color for a 1/4 Tiefling Warlock. This one apparently is from the Commander set, because obviously the not watermark set symbol is different. Death Touch, Mythic Arcanum. At the beginning of your library, beginning of your end step, exile the top card of your library. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. I like it, the fact that it says next turn is very key there. Pack Boon is whenever you play a card from exile, create a treasure token. It's there to, increase your ability to use treasure, and you can basically play cards at a later point in time. It's going to die pretty easy, quite frankly, but still decent. The Warlock class. 1 black, at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died this turn, each opponent loses 1 life. At level 2, when this class becomes level 2, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. And at level 3, at the beginning of your end step, each opponent loses life equal to the life they lost this turn. So if you're able to just keep getting life lost on them, or keep them losing life, if you're able to have them keep losing life every turn, this card's going to quickly just boom, 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 done. The problem is getting to level 3. Level 2 is going to be no problem. You could honestly do that on the next turn. And if the creature died this turn, then it doesn't matter, honestly, if it's a token or yours or theirs. They're going to lose a life. Questions is, are you going to be able to get to that to that level 3 before they destroy the enchantment? I honestly don't know. Maybe. Otherwise, it's decent. It's fine. Wizard class, you have no maximum hand size. Okay. Whenever this class becomes level 2, draw 2 cards. All right. And then whenever you draw a card, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. All right. That's perfectly fine. Because that means you're always getting a +1 counter on creatures. So that's good. Ranger class, one green, one of any color for a rare. When it enters the battlefield, you get a 2 green wolf creature token. When it's level 2, whenever you attack, put a +1 counter on target attacking creature. And whenever you hit level 3, you may look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you may cast it from the top of your deck. Makes sense for a ranger. It's a perfectly adequate card. That's for certain. I can't really think of anything. Honestly, I'm pretty just happy with those first 2 levels. I'm going to be frank. But, I mean, if you can get to the 3rd, which isn't that hard, it's not that expensive, great. Bard class. 1 red, 1 green, rare. Legendary creatures you control enter the battlefield with an additional +1 counter on them. If you get to level 2, legendary spells cost green and red less to cast. It reduces only the mana color. And then if you get to level 3, whenever you cast a legendary spell, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play them as turn. Great, but you still got to have the mana for it. But then again, level 2 does decrease that to some degree. So if you're in a green-red deck, for instance, say using Minsc's Beloved Ranger, that can work. Cleric class, 1 white. If you would gain life, you gain that much life +1. Whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. And when this class becomes level 3, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. You gain life equal to the toughness. That last one, that one is actually pretty good. And it's honestly on the cheaper side compared to the Warlock one. I don't mind this one. Minsc, Beloved Ranger, Naya, 3/3, Human Ranger, Legendary Creature, Mythic, enters the battlefield. Create Boo, a legendary 1/1 red hamster creature token with trample and haste. Pay X until end of turn. Target creature you control has a base power and toughness of XX. It becomes a giant in addition to their other types. Activate only as a sorcery. So basically, Boo is his little companion, and he can turn it into a monster. He's got a card go. Yep, Boo. Go for the eyes, Boo! Ha ha! You meet in a tavern. I like Boo. I like Minsc. He's kind of cool. You meet in a tavern. 2 green, 2 event color, sorcery, uncommon. You form a party. Look at the 5 cards in your graveyard or library. You may reveal any number of creature cards from among them, put in your hand, the rest on the bottom in any random order. Or start a brawl. Creatures you control get +2/+2 until they got a turn. It's a good little search card, especially if you've got a lot of creatures. So I can say it's all right, and plus it can pump your field up. Fighter class, 1 white, 1 red. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for an equipment card, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Okay. Equip abilities you activate cost 2 less to activate. Level 2, okay. And whenever a creature you control attacks, up to 1 target creature blocks it if able in combat. That's fine, especially in an aggressive style deck. I can't say it's amazing though, because you need to be in that deck. But for that deck, it's fine. Sephris of the Hidden Ways. Esper colors, 2/3, Human Wizard. Whenever 1 or more creatures are put into your graveyard from anywhere, venture into the dungeon. The ability only triggers once each turn. Create Undead. Whenever you complete a dungeon, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's all well and good, but again, it's a commander card, so I'm guessing that commander deck might be dealing with the dungeons. And I don't like the fact it's really only once per turn. I guess it's to keep it from just being spammed, but it's not the worst thing ever. Rogue class, 1 black, 1 blue. Rare. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library face down. You may look at it as long as it remains exiled. At level 2, creatures you control have menace. Now, level 3, you may play cards exile with Rogue class, and you may spend mana as though we're a mana of any color to spend them, if you can get to it, which frankly isn't that hard, because just 2 extra mana, and it would take an extra mana anyway to get to the level 2, so it's really not that difficult, ultimately. It is just another thorn in the side of thanks to rogues. Sorcerer class. 1 red, 1 blue. Rare. With Sorcerer class enters the battlefield, draw 2 cards, and discard 2 cards. Okay, there's that. And then level 2, honestly, this is unique. Level 2 is the same mana cost as the actual casting cost. Creatures you control have tap and add a blue or red mana spell. Only cast instants or sorcery spells, or to gain a class level. And then at level 3, you can cast an instant or sorcery spell that deals. Whenever you cast a instant or sorcery spell that deals damage to each opponent. Yeah, that deals damage to each opponent equal to. Okay, well, hold on. Maybe I'm reading this wrong. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, that spell. Okay, I didn't see the comma there. All right, spell deals. Grammar's important, kids. That spell deals damage equal to equal to the number of instances of sorceries you cast this turn. Okay, don't like it that much. It's all right. It's not that great. And the reason for that is that final ability really doesn't matter that much. Because how many sorceries are you honestly going to be able to cast in one turn? Really isn't all that great. And it's got to go 1, 2, maybe you can get 6 damage if you're lucky. That's about it. But that's assuming the other spells don't do anything. So maybe there's more to it than that. Ingenious Smith is 1 white, 1 of any color for a 1/1 human artificer. Uncommon. Enters the battlefield. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an artifact card from among them and put them in your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any random order. Whenever one or more artifacts enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1 counter on this card. This ability only triggers once each turn. They're really limiting that, apparently. Like, the trigger abilities are only going off once each turn. Good for searching, but, I mean, there's better cards, I think. Price of Loyalty is 1 red, 2 of any color. Sorcery, gain control of target creature until the end of turn. Untap it, it gains haste. If mana was spent from a treasure to cast it, you also get +2/+0. It's basically a better act of treason. Split the party is 2 blue, 3 of any color. For sorcery, uncommon, choose a target creature or target player. Turn half the creatures they control to the owner's hand, rounded up. Cute little combat trick, but if they don't have a lot of creatures, it doesn't matter. Vrondis, Rage of Ancients. 1 green, 3 of any color. 1 green, 1 red, 3 of any color for a 5/4 Dragon Barbarian Legendary Mythic from the Commander set. It has Enrage. When it's dealt damage, you may create a 5/4 red dragon creature token. When this creature deals damage, sacrifice it. And then when you roll 1 or more dice, you may have this card deal 1 damage to itself. I kind of really dig this card a lot. Also, its art's just really cool. But yeah, I mean, you can, in theory, if you can make this indestructible, deal all the damage you want. It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter. Yeah, because I'm willing to bet you. I'll bet you there is like a dark steel plating or something in that Commander set. Something that's going to give this thing indestructible. I'm willing to bet you that. And if that's the case, then yeah, watch out, because this thing is nuts. Honestly, you just got to get the 1 damage off on it, too. Yeah, it also says when it deals damage, so that means player or creature. But the beauty is, you can just attack in with this guy. Someone can block him, and you can just have the token sitting there. The token's not going to pop until it deals damage. So that's actually pretty cool. I like this card. I like it a lot. Illimirith, Desert Doom. 2 blue, 3 of any color for a 5/5 dragon, flying, already mythic, already great rate. Has ward 4 as long as it's untapped, similar to Ojutai, where it had a hexproof as long as it was untapped. When it deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Then, if you have fewer cards than 3 in the hand, fewer than 3 cards in your hand, draw a card equal to the difference. So you're always going to have 3 cards in your hand, at least. I like it. Plus that art's great. That art, like the alternate art's fantastic, but I love that art. That art looks sick. It's just really good artwork. So yeah, I like it. That's a good mythic rare, man. Silver Raven is 1 blue for a artifact bird, 1/1 flying. When there's scry 1. Okay, there you go. Short, sweet, to the point. I can use it in a bird deck. I can use it in an artifact deck. Oh god. Okay. Something of the East. Regent of the East. It's a vampire. 4/4. Has ward, discard a card, so they have to discard a card to target this thing. Flying. for 5 mana somewhere. He's got a good rate. Whenever this card deals damage to a player, put that many +1 counters on it. Okay, that you need to deal with that quick, because if it's not that it's dealing damage, get a +1 counter. It's that whatever the damage you deal with this card is, put a +1 counter on it. Oh, we got a new card apparently. So yeah, that's kind of sick. That's something you need to answer quick. Druid class is 1 green, 1 of any color. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 1 life. Okay, easy. It basically gives you pseudo land. It's got landfall, you gain a life. Get to level 2, you may play an additional land each turn. Okay. And get to level 3. When it becomes level 3, target a land you control becomes a creature with haste, where its power and toughness are equal to the number of lands you control, and it's still land. So basically, it's the land class, which is not bad at all. That's a pretty decent one, to be frank. A standard blue dragon is 2 blue, 5 any color for a 5/5 flying lightning breath. When it enters the battlefield, target creature and opponent control gets -3 until the end turn. Gets -3, -0, -2, -0, and -1, -0. And you target 3 different creatures. That's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. The problem here, though, I see, is it doesn't have flash. That's the problem. If it had flash, that ability would be more relevant. But it is what it is. Mind Flayer, 2 blue, 3 of any color for a 3/3 rare horror creature. When it enters the battlefield, gain control of target creature for as long as you control Mind Flayer. There you go. It's a mind control on a body, so you now have to kill the target. You have to kill this to get your creature back, and the fact that it can attack on its own as well, that's pretty interesting. I like that. Dire Wolf Prowler is 1 green, 2 of any color for a wolf, common. Pay 2, 1 green, 1 of any color, gets +2/+2 and gains haste till the end of turn. 2/2. A little better later game, but still decent. Paladin Shield is 1 white, 1 of any color for a, equipment. Equipment creature gets +2/+2, and it attaches up to target creature that comes out. Cheap, supportable, it's fine. The last of the commander cards, if I'm not mistaken, Galia, Kindler of Hope. Bant colors +1, 4/4, Elf Knight, legendary creature, vigilance, mythic rare. Look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast or an equipment spells from the top of your library. When you cast an equipment spell this way, it gains this equipment enters the battlefield attached to target creature. That's great. What about the aura stuff? I'm only saying I actually like auras more than the equipments. But, alright, it's not the worst thing in the world. So my guess here is, and this is the only guess I have, of the, I think, 4 cards we've seen, because I know there's 4 command. So the Esper deck is going to be the dungeon deck. The black-red deck is going to be something to do with treasures, from what I can tell. The dragon deck is going to be the dice deck, and the Bant deck is going to be the equipment deck, most likely. Then, all right. So that's how it's going to look like. So from that logic, I want the dragon and the dungeon deck. Then those would be the decks I'd like to get. Magic Missile is 2 black. Cast Magic Missile. 2 red, 3 red in color. Spell can't be countered and deals 3 damage divided as you choose among 1, 2, or 3 targets. Cool. It's not bad. It's a nice little burn spell. The Book of Exalted Deeds. 3 white for a legendary artifact mythic. At the beginning of your end step, if you gain 3 or more life, create a 3/3 white angel creature token with flying. Look, before I continue, there's already so many problems I have with that white griffin spell with white players in arena as it is. This is not going to be helping it out anymore, because they have the griffin card that makes the griffins, and now they'll have this. Granted, it's a mythic, so it's going to be hard to get, although people are going to just be buying the cards outright, I'm sure. But you can also pay 3 white, tap this card, exile this card, and put an enlightened counter on target angel. It gains. You can't lose the game, and your opponent can't win the game. Activate as a sorcery. Oh, God. So all they need to do is get this thing hexproof. Give that thing hexproof. And unless you have a board wipe or something that's going to make them sacrifice the creature, you're screwed. That is it. That's basically, you're screwed. Because if the creature that gets that counter on it is unable to be destroyed or targeted, mostly destroyed, because even indestructible can be countered with exile. But if it can't be targeted, you're screwed. You're SOL. Oh God. And what's worse is I have decks. My Angel deck has both versions of Avacyn in it. Actually, I think I have. No, I only have 2 versions of Avacyn. I know there's a third, but it has Avacyn, the indestructible one, in there. So I could easily just, yeah. Oh, this could go bad south real fast. I could piss off so many people. I pissed off my girlfriend last night. We were playing a game last night, and she had her mono red deck, and she was doing okay. But and she beat my first deck pretty easy. I haven't played in a little bit with that deck, and it just didn't work out well. I played with my white blue deck, and my white blue deck has Iona. So the minute Iona came out, I'm like, I named red. That's game because you can't cast any spells now. You can play land, honey, but you can't cast any spells. And she's like, I might have an artifact in this. You'll be dead in 2 turns. All right, fine. Sepulcher Ghoul. My girlfriend would probably know how to pronounce that better. 1 red, black, 1 of a color for 2/1 zombie. Sacrifice another creature. Kill Sepulcher Ghoul gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. Activate only once each turn. Yeah. There's better cards to use this with. It's just a 2-drop that could turn into a 4/3 with no other abilities, and you're wasting a creature then. You'd have to have a pretty useless creature for that to work. Although I suppose you could use it with Boo, sacrifice Boo, and then, use Mink's ability to make it like a 4/4, and then you get the +2. But, nah, I don't really like it. Paladin class, 1 white, spells your opponent's cast during your turn, costs 1 more to cast. Cool. Creature you control get +1/+1. Cool, it's an anthem and that. And if you get to level 3, whenever you attack until the end of turn, target attacking creature gets +1/+1 for each other attacking creature and gains double strike. Well, that's basically the opposite of Exalted, and I'm down for it. We're almost done now. Monk class. 1 white, 1 blue. Second spell you cast each turn costs 1 less to cast. Interesting. This class becomes level 2. When it does, return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Okay. And if you hit level 3 at the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. For as long as it remains exiled, you may cast this card from exile as long as you cast another spell this turn. It's kind of a lot of hoops to go through to cast. Red does a better job at doing this than, say, the second spell stuff, because then you also have to factor in mana costs and all that. Yeah, nah, I don't like the Monk class that much. Sorry. Treasure Vault. Pay or tap. Colorless mana you get. Or you can pay XX, sacrifice it, and get treasure tokens. X treasure tokens. Makes sense. It's a Treasure Vault. Talisman. Trickster's Talisman, to be precise. 1 black for a artifact equipment. Equipped creature gains Death Touch until the end of turn. Equipped creature attacks alone. Defending player loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. Equipped for 2. It's uncommon. This is a very reasonable card. I like this card. I can't say that much more about it than that. I like that card. It's one of those ticking time bomb things. Teleportation Circle. 1 white, 3 of any color. Enchantment. Rare. At the beginning of your end step, exile the top card, exile up to 1 target creature card or artifact or creature card you control. Then return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control. Great for enter the battlefield effects. That's about it. Yeah, but that being said, you can do this all the time. So it's not like an instant effect where you're done. It's actually, something you can use continually. Soul Knife Spy. 1 blue, 2 of any color for a 3/2 elf rogue. Whenever it deals combat damage, draw a card. That's a basic card. It's cool. It's fine. Don't really have a name, but Senior. So it's Senior. Senior. Sir. It's a Goblin Knight, from what I can tell. That or a Goblin Barbarian. It's a Hobgoblin. But other goblins get +1/+1. It's a 2/3 rare. And you can pay 1 red, tap it. It deals any amount of damage equal to the number of goblins that enter the battlefield under your control this turn to any target. Given the fact that goblin decks are notorious for pumping out tokens, not the worst card in the world. And it's pumping up the goblin tokens even further. It's it's making them more powerful as they come out. So that's decent. It's a lord too, so you'd probably use it. Vampire Spawn. 1 black, 2 of any color for a vampire. 2/3 enters the battlefield. Each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. Short, sweet, to the point. It's usable. It's very usable common. Um, Demogorgon's Clutches. 1 black, 2 of any color for an uncommon sorcery. Target opponent discards 2 cards, mills 2 cards, and you loses 2 life. Basically, the ultimate version of Mind Rot. Like, yeah, this thing is... Oh, I just realized, too, we should be getting a Demogorgon in this set, hopefully. But yeah, it's the ultimate Mind Rot, really. It really is. It does everything you want to do. Like, screw Mind Rot. If you got... replace the Mind Rots with these. That's what I'd do. Because you're not only just milling 2 cards, which some people want to be milled, but they're also losing 2 life. So is this just a strictly better Mind Rot? So absolutely, Mind Rot's still really good. So yeah, I love it. Potion of Healing, 1 white, 1 of any color for an artifact, common. Enters the battlefield, draw a card. You can pay 1 white, tap it, and sacrifice it to gain 3 life. Okay, it's a quick little card. It's a quick play. It's fine. You get the card, you get to draw the card, and then you'll gain the life. That's basically it. But that is all the cards for today and yesterday. Finally caught up. Hopefully it won't be that bad on Monday. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And I'll catch you folks later. I still got my what if to do. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.